And yes, we are
We
live because
are
there's a
live.
little red button, well, not button, a red thing that says we are live. And I'm switching to YouTube to watch it.
Good evening,
Or
good
am I?
evening, good evening. Hello, YouTube.
Howdy, or yes, yes, as some of us say. How are we all doing? Are you even doing? What are you doing? How are you doing it? It is me finishing the Rasco. Hi, finishing my pre-show cup of tea, cherry and rosebush
Cherry
and
and
disco.
what? I'm finishing my
Rose.
pre-show beer
Hmm.
of Dark Star Nordland. I did a quick review of it on Instagram the other day. Not going to do a video on it.
Yep.
It's a tropical Kvik IPA,
Hmm.
5%. Found it in Waitrose. Not too bad. Perfectly
Yeah.
drinkable. Not my favourite. I do like Kvik IPAs because I like the Kvik. It kind of rounds out and makes it a bit smoother and a bit more fruity and stuff. So I do pick them up, but it's one that you can just pick up and it's very sweet, which I quite like. So
Fantastic. That's very good. Like before we began, I popped down to my local Yarn Craft for some pre-show beers.
cool.
I had a West Coast IPA, which wasn't very West Coasty IPA. It was
What's a
very
very West Coast
sweet.
IPA?
No. It was very, very sweet. It was nice and refreshing. It was good. And I've completely forgotten who done it. I'll have to look that up and bring it up later. Which it was perfectly reasonable percentage. But then I moved on to, and this is on Untapped, by the way. So I'm looking on my recent Untapped, which I did do the West Coast. And I had a beer from Marvel. We're clocking in, thanks to my efforts, by the way, of quite a few West Coast IPA badges on Untapped. So yeah, we've got a lot of badges. This is a Lebukin Imperial Stout. Now Lebukin is like German winter biscuit, and this was very biscuity. I think it should be called Christmas pudding beer. Um, if I'm honest, and it was very rich in almost in a very strong wine sense. Beautiful, 9.7%. I had a third of it at £3.80. And yeah, that's great. Ooh. And so that's literally what I was doing only 15 minutes ago.
Superb. Yeah, well, love a little bit of Christmas beers coming up. I haven't looked into them yet. Have you
Mm.
seen the? Have you seen the? I think it's Northern Monk one. Or is it Vocation? Have you seen they got like a little celebrations beer, which is going to run them very close to a cease and desist order. And they're all marked up in like Mars bar kind of colours.
Um, no, I have not. I have not at
So they
all,
got
mate.
a bounty one like a coconut stout. They got like a caramel one like the Mars bar.
Mm.
It's all a little bit close to a cease and desist order for my liking, but I haven't decided whether to go for them yet. But I think you'd call it gimmicky.
Mm. Well, gimmickies are okay, providing you just deliver in the end of the
What?
day.
Mm.
Mm.
Cheers,
Hey,
Luke. That's
Luke.
Luke John, by the way. He's changed his channel name to Beers and Banter. Little bit of news for you.
Oh, I did not know
Uh,
that. I was
yeah, so he's doing a thing
thinking
after
it was
that.
someone else. Howdy, the two of you. I'll be along after the Festival of Remembrance. Isn't that like in 13 hours' time? Mm. But yeah. Anyway,
It's all weekend, isn't it, really?
okay. To
Right.
go on about it. So I haven't done a show for a while because I've been busy. And every time I laid this out that I would be in Lewis, I didn't go to Lewis because the town of Lewis put out a message saying, please don't come to Lewis. We're not equipped to handle 60,000 people, by the way. So I didn't go there, but I did go somewhere else, Beckenham, a little less dramatic. Reason is Lewis does some amazing mad firework display. Look it up on YouTube. Don't go there next year because I'm going to go there next year, and don't want the town closed down. So no one go there until I've been there. Please, thank you. And the weekend before that, I was going to a wedding party, which I didn't actually get to because, well, the trains were fucked up. You know, I was looking at my little computer on the app on the phone. And it said kept telling me to go to Wimbledon. I needed to get to Southall, and they said go to Wimbledon, do this, do that, and I was like, no way, that's going to take me 3 hours. I've got a better route. I tried my better route. I got to Farringdon Station, and the Elizabeth line was closed, and that was the end of my travel. And I went straight back to the art and craft. So now I'm back, and I think we're pretty be regularly-ish at the moment. And yeah, there you go. And that's that. How's your time off been, Mr. Disco?
Well, yeah. Oh, there we go on BBC One. He's gone mainstream. So he's watching on telly, but being after fair play. Yeah, I don't know. It's like I didn't mean to sort of take time off. Really, it was kind of an accident. I did like a last video, and then I had loads of stuff. I bought some stuff in for Oktoberfest. I was going to do the Oktoberfest beers. And then I don't know, it just didn't really happen, to be fair. I kept setting up and trying to do a review, and it's just, I don't know. I thought, I've kind of like, a lot of people talk about like mental health and stuff, and you did that beer, Let's Eat Pies, and talk about mental health. And like, I've got a can of that, and I was going to do a whole like video about it, but I just sort of, I needed to relax a little bit, I needed to like, I don't know, get the energy back a little bit. So I apologise. I haven't put a video out for a month, but got some good beers lined up. Hopefully, get back onto it soon.
That's good. I did 3 shoots down at Waterloo about a month ago, and I've released 2 of them. I have been silly busy to the point where I think I'm now 80 years old. And that's that, really. But on my silly business, I met up with a friend who was going on his way to Thailand, and I got this bottle when meeting him.
Cool.
I met him and another friend. We met at the Gladstone Arms. Went by there again and had a few beers. Enjoyed it. The atmosphere there. They had a like open mic night. They seemed to get quite a good gathering for that. And I was just there with friends having beers, and we decided to leave. And my friend is getting married. We would go into the London Bridge tap, and I looked at the beer list and I thought, "Hang on, are you sure this is a tap?" And we walked out, and we ended up in the Market Porter. And I had one other beer there, and then because the bar in the Market Porter is quite long and rectangular and like L-shaped-ish, more like backwards C. I noticed something they had on cask. I was like, no way. Okay, I'm not having one here. I'm sticking around. And I told my friend, I'm having one of those. I necked him a beer, and it was Broken Dream on cask. And I was like, oh, fuck, I'm having some of that. That beer is a million times better on cask than it is in a can or a keg. It is born to be on cask. And I had one, and then I told my mate, okay, I'm having another one. And he goes, okay, I'm going home now. I said, okay, I'm just going to have a half. And I had a half 3 left of Broken Dream. So I'm already had a few beers down in the Gladstone. I've had 2.5 in I was about to call it Broken Dream, the Market Porter. Then I decided to leave. It's time to go home. I thought, well, seeing as I'm in London Bridge, opposite Borough Market, I might as well go to the Rake.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay. And I did my traditional thing of getting lost in the market, where it's actually 30 seconds away. I turned it into a 5-minute walk and get into there. And I find another Siren beer. I have no idea what the Siren beer was. It was a stouty thing. And I think it was all right, but by that time, it didn't really matter. And then I was talking to the bar, and I saw this. I said, well, I've never heard of Tap East, and Utoba, who own the rake. I've just been
Oh.
informed that they own the rake. So,
To be fair, it's two I've heard of sort of vaguely. I've seen something about, but I don't know too much about them. Or like,
yeah, so that's what I've been up to. That's what I'm going to drink tonight.
cool.
It's called U20 beer, 20th anniversary Belgium IPA, where we brewed this beer to celebrate 20 years of trading as Borough, using two variants of English hops. Oh, that's nice. One from the 90s, a pilot, and one from the more recent times, O'Cannon. The original idea was to make an English IPA. Well, you failed there. But on the brew day, we decided to use a Belgian yeast. Oh, interesting. To complement the spicy character of the hop. The result is a pale ale with a distinctive Belgian yeast character. Complements and notes of lemon, grapefruit, marmalade, and spice from the hops. Well, that's going to be interesting. Hello. Uh, yeah, but that's what it says. It says pilot. Yeah, pilot. Never heard of them. Neither have I. It's from the 90s.
It's a new one on me, and look what happens when you say things like that about hops.
Indeed. Adam all of a sudden shows up at the right time, right place. Hello, Mersey Beers. How is everyone? What's beer and banter? What's your favourite beers and where would you stand on Twitter? That's next week's show.
It is. That's another show entirely. But well, the beer of the year list we've got to talk about.
Yes.
I have got an answer for that. I'll put a quick one in there because I had a beer yesterday. I didn't review it, and I'm gutted because I bought a box of beer 52, and one of them that was in there, the Scottish one, got into my beer list. But I can't remember if this one was from beer 52 or not. But it's this little number, Holidays Hazelnut Stout from Harbour, right? And it was an amazing beer. It just tasted like, Marlow Rebellion, right? Brewery.
Mm-hmm.
They got a beer called Roasted Nuts, and it tasted like if they'd brewed roasted nuts with chocolate malt. It was amazing. Can't find it again anywhere. I would be tempted. The last one I got a load more in, so I would be tempted to get that in again, and it might trouble the beer of the year list. Bizarrely, you look like you're having fun there, Rasco. I tell you what, once you do that, I'm getting my beer out.
There was a lot of smoke with this, and there was a venison froth, which almost went on my laptop, which is something you've got to watch out for. I might actually change my laptop configuration from now on. A few sips of this, and I can confirm, my friend, you might hate this. I don't mind it. It's sweet and nectary. Maybe there's a bit of marmalade. It might come out later. No, I'm really enjoying this. Is a good pale, a good strong, sturdy pale. Where some pales.
Okay, Luke's saying when it says pilot hops, it might just be like new hops they're experimenting with. But if it was from the 90s, they would have given it a name by now. I'd have thought. I don't know.
No, they said it was an old classic, and then they went with a new one. Was Craig alive, Adam? What's going on there? I don't know. We're talking about us. We're talking about other people.
No, Craig was live yesterday. Adam says Adam was on Craig's live stream last night, but I think it went quite late into the night. I kind of fell asleep about 1 o'clock. But
really?
I was commenting on the stream last night.
You didn't make an appearance?
Happy birthday to, and I use this term reservedly, happy birthday to Mrs. Mersey Beers for tomorrow. I'm talking about Mrs. in however it is in relation to your partner.
Indeed.
I don't know if you're married or not.
Yes, indeed. Okay. So, news and updates, moving on.
Well, before you do that, I'm going to get a beer out, Rasco, because you've got a big bottle. So I went and I found a big bottle.
Oh, yes. I've had one of those. I did one of those some time ago. Yeah.
Well, this is a beer that I've seen in the supermarket, and I picked it up because Raggy tried it and absolutely hated it. And also, it's a wax top, so it's going to be a real pain to open.
I remember having some of those once upon a time from them, and
Yeah.
I was not impressed. Maybe my palate's developed since then.
Well, just
I'm
for
lucky.
reference, this is a Ninkazi from Wild Beer. It says a celebration beer. I'm not sure what's the celebration of. 750 ml, but it is 9%,
Uh
and
huh.
it says aptly complex and deliciously Moorish. It says bubbles, apples, and wild ferment. So apple beer is a funny one, but I'm going to give it a go. You crack on talking. I'm going to take an age probably.
Yeah.
Look like a complete.
Fair enough. You do that. This is getting nicer and nicer and sweeter and sweeter.
Yeah,
But on with the news. The
just a regular
Hope,
Ninkazi, just
the
a regular
legend,
one.
the Hope legendary pub near me is doing its Dark Beer Festival. If you remember that disco, there's a video of
I
us
do, yeah.
trying to go, and it sold out of beer. I went along again
As
last
always.
year, and I couldn't taste a thing because I was getting over COVID, and it was torture. To be honest, it was the most painful hangover I had ever had as well, um, because I had nothing to smile about.
Oh, look at that! That was quick.
Yeah,
I was quite happy
yeah,
with that.
very good. So if you're in the
Hmm.
area or
Sorry,
not in
go
the
on.
area, come along. The Hope Beer Festival starts probably on the 24th of November. Also in news, here you've got Domstock Nitro Fest, which is featuring Left Hand Brewing pouring a White Russian, Brew York pouring Fairy Tale Brew York, Gingerbread, Milk Stout, Imperial Tonko, and Imperial Milk Stout. Siren will be there, Whiplash will also be there. And it's happening in the from the 16th of November to the 18th, down at Anspach Hobbs Days Archway Tap Room in Bermondsey. You ever heard of that place? And also Pig's Ear Beer Festival will be happening towards the end of the month, perhaps starting on the 29th. I will be there on the 29th. I might be there again on the 2nd. But I plan to go because I haven't been in some time. I couldn't go last year. I, and yeah, and oh, I believe you got some news because I wasn't aware of this, but when you wrote it into the notes, so yeah, go ahead with that.
Okay, well, I'm just going to go with the beer first of all.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
do
so
that.
Raggy didn't like this beer, but yeah, as I says, because he doesn't really like saisons. I do love a saison, but sometimes they can be a bit hit or miss, and a little bit kind of like they've got that kind of farmhousey, wild kind of ferment thing going on. Looks quite dark on the
Mm,
camera. Looks much lighter here. Very good carbonation, bubbles rising up the glass there.
very nice.
Mm. Yeah, no, it's got that kind of slightly spiced apple kind of aroma going on. Cheers.
Salute.
Okay, that's interesting. It's not I don't know. It's not like rip your throat out kind of weird or kind of like Bretty or sour or anything like that. I do like a saison, like I say. It's got some like kind of like I say, kind of like a not quite toffee apple, but not quite like kind of spiced apple notes going on. Bit kind
Hmm.
of apple puddingy kind of thing. I'm all right with that. It's perfectly yeah. It's got a bit of a twang to it. It's got a bit of a note to it. I mean, we love wild beer, but we wild beer company, but we do often. I think you had a box of their stuff and you found some of it a bit kind of challenging on the
That's
palate, didn't it?
that's what I mean. Yeah, the best one I had out of that box was a stout of theirs. Um, and if I'm honest, I prefer wild beers core range stuff than to their wacky backy experimentation stuff. And I think wacky backy because they use like stuff from the forest and stuff like that. Great thing. I wish them all the best of luck with it. And maybe one day I'll come round. Who knows?
Mm.
Maybe
Yeah,
it's
well,
just
it's
me.
worth it. it's one of the things you got to keep trying, really, and just see how it goes.
Absolutely, you've just
I
got
quite like that.
to.
I quite like that actually. It's a big bottle, so it's kind of a sharing bottle, but I could drink 750 ml of it, I think.
Yeah, indeed.
And it's
So
available
what's
in the
this?
supermarkets. Another Waitrose one.
Hmm. So what's this about S43 anyway?
Well, yeah. So there was a lot of obviously the sad news about beers, breweries closing down. We seem to get one every week, but there was a little bit of a, I don't know whether it's a rumor or what. I think it's kind of started on Facebook forums. S43 was shutting down, was going belly up, and there was a beer review, I think, on Monday or Tuesday, that a video on YouTube that was entitled S43 going under, and I think they put a thing out. I think it was on Twitter as well as Facebook, that they weren't actually going under. They were just having some restructuring, but I think because they're owned by like a, I don't want to say the wrong thing here. I have to be difficult, but I don't think they are going under. I think they're just having a little bit of a reorganization. They said they were changing some of their stock, not going to brew anything until the releases on the new year. So
Mm.
assuming that happens, but yeah. So as far as I can say, S43 are still okay. They've still got a load. The web shop's still open. They've still got a load of stuff on their web shop. So
Oh,
as far as I can tell,
yeah,
that was a little bit of a rumor that got a bit out of hand. So
yeah.
although there was one brewery I did see today, Tynebank up in Newcastle. I don't know about them too much,
Mm.
but I knew Adam would know a bit more. To be fair, S43 was selling their kit, which is where the rumor came from. Were they selling all the kit, or if they were just selling some bit to upscale? Maybe they were getting some more kit in. I don't know, but there you
Okay.
go, upgrading their kit.
Right.
There you
Okay,
go.
here's
But
a question I've
it
got.
was. Go on.
No, no, sorry, mate. Have they got rid of their brewer? Is a man named Alex from Texas. I can't remember his second name. Because, S43 used to be a cask producer called Sonnet 43.
Mm, mm.
Um, and I'm wondering, is the head brewer sticking around or what? Or, what is this restructuring? But continue what we are going to say. Sorry,
Yeah, so Tynebank Brewery is one this week that was in admin. I've heard of them, but not got around to getting their stuff. But I think they're up for sale. They're in admin for sale as such. So
yeah.
that was the mention of the closing. Anybody else that you've seen closing this week?
Mate, I have literally just been informed by a source via WhatsApp, literally just now, that Canopy, Cano,
Oh,
Canopy
Canopy. Yeah, Canopy was another one this week.
have gone under.
Well,
Or
from what I saw, they're talking about not immediately gone under, but they're another one that aren't really going to produce any more beers. Just sell what they've got left, and probably
mm,
close up by the end of the year. I think was the statement that I saw.
mm. According to Mersey Beers, Time Bank were a solid cask brewery. They did a lovely cherry stout. Mate, I'll tell you what, it's really sad because since the March 2020, 9.9% of hospitality has disappeared in the UK. So
Yeah.
make what you want. It's a load of reasons why. And if you remember back in our Instagram days, I did, and you watched a tasting of some spicy sauce from Hopped Sauce, which was a new sort of spicy sauce, chili sauce producer, basing it all around beer. I found out about an interview of them from Virtual Pub Club. I loved it, and he even tuned into one of our shows and sent me out straight one of his Christmas bottles. I am really apologetic because from that point onwards, I never gave them any support and I never bought any of their product despite loving it. And they disappeared as of last week. They are now just a virtual memory. I don't have any more of their sauce. You can't buy any more of their sauce. And Craft Beer Channel and Simon from Real Ale Craft Beer all did reviews on them, and literally that is the only memory. And what we did is there.
I never went for it because I'm not a massive fan of hop sauce. The only thing I would say
Mm,
about it was it looked a really good product, but it's one of them that you try once, and then there's so many other products out there. It wasn't a gimmick, but it was a little quite a niche thing, like brewing
mm,
using the hops and stuff like that. And I think
mm,
there wasn't quite enough of a market that you'd have all that repeat business kind of thing. But the product did look really good. But I'm not a massive fan of hop sauce, so
yeah,
um, that's the point. That's
yeah,
what I was going to say. Look, S43 are moving to a bigger premises. That's what they're talking about, not producing anymore. And as Adam says, selling their equipment to upgrade to a bigger place. But yeah, people just got a little bit misrepresentation going on.
the thing about
Uh,
S43 is like I do know like some people have not been impressed by their product, and then I've been a
I
bit
mean,
critical. You've been
yeah,
more happy with what they do than me. I think don't get me wrong, they have done some good beers, but they've done some beers which, quite frankly, I think were all over the place. And look, I don't wish anyone badly, but I know some industry people have turned to them and said, "Look, I don't want to be buying your product anymore because I think cause."
yeah.
Yeah.
I was well impressed with what they did. I still am.
Mm,
I find it so difficult to go to them because they end up getting more and more product at there was another one where it's £5 or £6 a can, and I'm like,
hmm
I love it. It looks great, but I've just had to rein buying in a little bit. Tried not to go above £4 or £5 for some cans if I can help it. Now and again, like this for instance, this was on reduced actually in Waitrose. This was like £6.50 or something at the time I bought it. So I thought, well,
hmm
give it a go. But it's a 750 thing, but 750 bottle. But yeah, S43 one is a kind of upper end of the price range that I want, but I can't really do all the time. Um,
they did all those tedious marketing things straight out of the book
yeah,
of Brewdog, which got them
yeah,
into
well,
like legal trouble. And
yeah.
it was just, I found it so fucking tedious. If
But
I'm honest,
everybody does that at some point, almost. You've got to give this thing a go, try and get a bit of attention, kind of thing.
I
I
think
don't know
there are
what
better
happened on
ways.
that.
I think honestly, there are better ways to do it. And
Mm,
it was pretty obvious who they were trying to mimic there.
yeah, it's the other thing
If
with S43. They had a lot of kind of like double IPAs, triple IPAs, and we're just chucking a lot of hops at it. That's why the price was the price. I never complain about the price, but when you start chucking so much stuff at a beer, it's going to go up. So I didn't bother with dank money because it's just not my thing. Do you remember we did that one? I think it was probably 2 years ago now. We both did it on a live stream. I think it was a big double IPA from them, and I had a really
Mhm.
piney one as well, which was like a New Zealand hopped one, and it was a great beer, but it just wasn't my thing at all. So I struggled with them a little bit. But their stouts, they do big stouts. Don't mess about. That pumpkin one. Well, I did that pumpkin one 2 years ago when it looked a bit like a Starbucks can. They've changed it now and called it something else.
Mm.
More of a Christmas cake stout and pumpkin. Well, that's because pumpkin's so like kind of. It's not a massive flavour of pumpkin. And that was the other one I did when we were talking about not doing brews for a while. I bought the pumpkin beers in. Still haven't got around to doing them. I have got an idea for it. Might do that next week altogether. But
They're
yeah, I've got
pretty
that.
good.
I've got the S43 pumpkin one in because I got it from Trembling Madness, which is easier place to get their beers from now. To be fair,
Mm, mm. You know what? There's a place I need to check out. It's Hotburn Blacks. Um,
yeah, yeah, I've had a
um,
couple of orders from them.
I was listening to them one of their on Rhythm and Brews podcast, and they were such the lady on there was just such fun. Great musical knowledge, great talk, and it was just a great podcast to listen to. I want to go there to say hi. I'm Rasco. That's it. And just talk with them and have a laugh, and just they used to sell vinyl and stuff. So yeah, but
Mm.
anyway, S43. There were some beers which were great, and some beers which were all over the place. And that's all I can say about them. I will give credit where credit is due. And I honestly, in times like these, I just wish everyone well and everyone the best. Good luck to you. Hang in there.
So I always talk about that one. Yes, 43 one with the Snickers bar, but I can't find the can. But yeah, that's what I was talking about earlier. That Adam's talking about the Mersey beer. He's talking about the vocation range one that they've done the celebration chocolates one. So they've done a bunch of stouts, like say with the
yeah,
honeycomb and whatever. But
they did a New England IPA I really liked as well because they were, and I quite enjoyed that. I even nominated them for a beer of the year. Yes, last year they did something that was really quite irony, and it was basically a bunch of Roman numerals. The title of the beer. It was good, but like I said, it was hit and miss. All over, some beers were just all over the place. That's it.
Bear me a second, Rasko. I just want to go back to that comment up there because it was the other one I meant to talk about. Beer Nouveau, I don't know if you've heard of him, but he's quite big on Twitter. He also started a YouTube channel recently as well. It's a bar in Manchester up under a railway arch somewhere, and he does a lot of I think we mentioned this on the last show. He does a lot of like really traditional beer styles, like old recipes and kind of stuff like that, and really well thought of in the beer industry. But he's got to the point also where I think it's become a bit too much, and he said he's going to sell up. So it was the sort of place I would immediately go to if I ever get back to Manchester, but won't have a chance now. But there you go. That's Beer Nouveau in Manchester.
I was just saying I need to go back to Manchester literally today. So yeah, I want to go back because I have not been there in a very long time. And I'm talking like many years. And I'm just waving my hand to check how long the delay of the stream is up on YouTube because it's just a little more convenient to see it. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. And that's that. So I'm not doing that anymore. I'm here. I'm here with you.
I do hope Raggy looks at this stream back because he's going to be absolutely mad at me. But I'm really enjoying this Ninkazi from Wild Beer. It's really nice.
Hey, it is what it is. If you like it, you like it. And if other people don't, they don't like it. What can you do? Everyone's designed a slightly different way.
Indeed.
But in the end of the day, sorry, am I messing around with the screen? Yeah, I am.
You are playing with me. I set it up so you could see both of us a bit wider, but
no, that's fine. Never mind. I'm trying to get the right screen I want, but never mind. That will do. So where we are? Oh yes, we've got this show notes thing that we can follow.
Would you like some breaking news, Rasko? Because
yes,
Luke has provided us with some breaking news that I was going to talk about anyway. Couple of beers coming out with disco in the name because I do love a beer with disco in the name, Rasko, for the disco collection.
Yes, you actually haven't done all the news. Actually, we've skipped a bit.
Oh, sorry. Well, we'll come back to that.
Yeah, can you do that quick? Because we're now behind time.
I know. That's always happens. You know what I mean? You have show notes and then you just sort of like riff with it. Quick.
Yeah.
Quickly breaking news. Luke's doing a beer and he's going to have to explain it to me a bit more because I remember seeing it on the live stream and I've got to be honest, Luke, I can't remember the story. I know how it came about. I can't remember how it came about, but it's a beer that Luke's doing called Backroom Disco. And I've seen the artwork for it, Luke. That looked really good this afternoon. Cheers for pointing that out, Rasko, because I did miss that. But yeah, so it's a lager, and it's half Backroom Disco from Bramall's Backroom Brewery, Rob, up in Stockport. Everybody probably knows his channel, and yeah, he's put disco on it because I think we were talking about disco named beers. And so he's going to call it Backroom Disco. Happy with that?
That's good. And what other news is there, Disco?
Well, following hot on that kind of news about a beer called with disco in the name, and I like a beer with disco in the name. An update to some news that started off in January that I did do a video for, and I meant to update the video, but again, lack of videos this month, I didn't do this one. But yeah, Lord's Brewing up in Huddersfield. Yesterday, brewed a beer called Disco Made Me Do It that John announced live on our stream on Instagram. Do you remember back when we did Instagram lives, Rasco?
Yes, Jack in January this year.
Yeah, exactly. So he got annoyed because I gave second place to Lord's Brewing in the brewery of the year last year behind Turning Point, because Turning Point done a bunch of stouts, and John said, "All right, I'm going to do a stout." He announced it the other month, last month, and he brewed it yesterday. It is a 12% imperial stout, Rasco.
Fuck.
I just to be clear, I want to make this clear. I didn't make him do a 12% imperial stout. Him and the brew team decided to do it at 12%. I might have made him do a stout, but I don't know. 12% imperial stouts, I love it. I drink it. I don't need a 12% imperial stout. He could have got away with it at a lot lower, but I'm happy with 12%. That's just a bonus, to be fair.
Very nice. Thank you, John.
Indeed, absolutely, yeah.
And John is planning to do, I don't know if it's out yet. I know there's a few quirks with it. This whole barcode scanning thing, which you can send him a bit of cash, and then you can get your own barcode for your own YouTube channel, your own business, and whatnot. It's scanned onto a can, and that's good. I think it's a good business. I know other businesses have tried it. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I just wish them good luck. You got to do something in this climate. All the best to you.
Well, the QR codes kind of do look good as artwork, so it'll look good on the can anyway. I think it'll look a bit striking, a bit stunning. So, yeah, I hope he gets them all sold, and he gets the beer out.
And yeah, there's another thing. So I didn't put this in the notes, so I apologise. The British Guild of Beer Writers is out on doing a whole big mentorship thing out there. If you want to get involved with it, I'll tell you what. I was contacted, spoken to by a member of the British Guild Writers 2 months ago at the premiere of Now IPA, the video of the craft beer channel. And they said, "Oh, you should join." I said, "Me? Really? Would you take someone like me?" And then I passed it on to you. Said, "No, I think you should do it. You're more of a writer." And you went, "No." And so therefore on Thursday, when I was a bit bored, I put an application. No, Wednesday, I put an application form. And on Thursday morning, I've been accepted to the British Guild of Beer Writers.
What? Is it that easy?
You don't necessarily have to be a writer. You have to be a communicator. So, yeah, I dropped them a link to some of the interviews I've done. I told them what I do, and what we do, and what we stand for. We're not experts. We're enthusiasts.
Yeah.
And they said, "Happy to have you on board."
So you are now does that mean you are now a beer writer, or you're just in the Guild of Beer Writers?
I'm in the guild, and they would like it if you do continuously update and you're continuously progressing to challenge ways in talking about beer and how you communicate. I don't want to name drop, but I did put, you can have someone who can propose you. It's not compulsory. I did find someone to propose me who is in the guild. I'll tell you who that was. I'm not going to say that out here loud, but yeah. So yes, I'm a member now. There you go. We'll see where that goes and what benefits and what fun that produces.
Wow, I tell you what, fair play. We see how it goes. Maybe I'll apply. Talking of new boys,
yeah,
Sam, welcome along. Sam appeared on his first live stream yesterday on Craig's live stream last night. Got himself all laptoped and videoed up, and welcome along, sir.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, I've had a very angry and frustrating time. I feel like getting some ranting, and tonight is the night of the Rantometer, and that introduction we just did took 39 minutes. So let's crack on with the main event of the show and go, because we're only about for another 15 minutes.
Okay, so you got a bunch of things to say, and you're not afraid to say it, Rasco, is what you're saying?
Fuck. No, mate. Well, I'm a member of the British Guild now, so...
Well, that's not necessarily a speaking guild, but let's see what you get on. Let's get, as Luke says. I was about to say, let's get ranting. So,
Indeed.
you pinged up a bunch of things that you wanted to talk about. I bunged a few just random stuff in. We've got a rantometer. We were going to do old school. I genuinely just seconds before we went on air found
Oh,
what I was talking about. It had fallen right at the back of the cabinet that I was talking about. So I have got that, but dragging us kicking and screaming into the 20th century, Rasco.
to be fair, everyone, I've got the rant monitor from what used to be the Hoppions, the Beer O'Clock show. Before they closed down Hoppions, they did a rant monitor show. And I said on Twitter, I would love that. I love ranting. Can I have that? And they went, go for it. It's now yours. And so, therefore, here we go. Comments and
Okay,
chats.
so yes, I've got a rantometer. Let's see if this works as well as we hope it does.
I like that.
So
This one. So, yeah, I
I've
like the
got
be
I've got
called
a
sir
wheel.
more often.
Yeah, I've got a wheel.
Let's get back to ranting. Yeah, I don't know. Don't know, Craig. Maybe someone does.
Right, yeah, so I've got a bunch of things. Let's spin the rantometer and see what you're going to rant about first, Rasco. You ready?
Hit me, baby.
One more time.
Yeah. Right.
It's even got sound effects. I love the sound effects, man.
Oh yeah, it's proper. You know. Oh, you no, really?
No! I said put some random stuff on there, so yeah, I'll put some random stuff on there.
Well,
Have you got
so,
anything to say about the current series of I'm a Celebrity, Rasco?
well, thinking back to it, I remember back in my student days, which was only last week, by the way. Last week in Vensum. I remember because when you're a student, you'd watch anything, and TV was like a main event. This was days before streaming, yeah. Um, and you'd be glued to just about anything, and people we live with, we like talking about it. So it's this. Here's what I've got to say about I'm a Celebrity. I have not watched the show or taken interest in it in a very long time. I do not care for it. I'm very interested in popular culture, and what stimulates it. And I think the show doesn't have much relevance anymore. Although, to be fair, the show wasn't on. The show was at the beginning of this year, and Ant and Dec made a very crude comment towards Boris Johnson on ITV about all his parties he had during lockdown. And even we did a follow up on that and made some jokes on that back in our Instagram days, if you recall. So, I believe you, my friend, are referring to Matt Hancock.
I wanted to put that in the thing, but I thought I'd go a little bit more subtle with it and just see where you
You,
went with it. But yeah,
you,
we
know
can
when
talk
you're in
about
the
what you
show
like,
notes,
Luke.
I actually typed Matt Hancock, and then I thought, no, I heard your voice saying we don't do politics, we don't do politics, we don't do politics.
Well,
Well, here we go.
is he politics? Because now he's in entertainment, even though he's still in politics.
Well,
But anyway,
well,
yeah, go on. Sorry.
let's be honest. Like he's had the whip removed. He's no longer a member of the Conservative Party until he becomes popular enough now, or everyone's forgotten.
Yeah.
He's done
Oh, they'll
this,
have him
quite
back.
frankly. He's done this because he's going through a really expensive divorce, and everyone's poorer because the prime minister before Rishi fucked up in 6 weeks, and yeah, everyone's now skint. Literally, doesn't matter where you are. So he's getting apparently 400k. He's apparently going to be on Celebrity SAS Tough Enough. And I used to love that show. I'm not dissing it because it's got ultra popular or anything. I just had to cut down on my television usage, and it didn't have any more purpose for me after I did a massive stupid hike. So he's doing these things. He's copying the Donald Trump playbook of get my face on TV, and I mean every news outlet is fucking living up. He's looking, he's searching for forgiveness. He's hugging, he's crying. His comrades in the jungle are apparently forgiving him and bonding with him. If they can like Matt, you can like Matt. Everyone can like Matt and maybe snog him and get groped. I don't know. Fuck this. It's sensationalism. I've been pretty silent on the matter. I don't care that he's on this program. I don't want to know he's on this program. He wants to pay off his divorce. Let him. They want to kick him off the Conservative Party. Do it. Hey, did you see when Rishi got elected? He walked into Tory HQ and Rishi blanked him. Hey, that's why he's on this show. Don't be fooled by it. Prick. I doubt he even drinks beer. That's kind of a low blow. I don't know what else I can say. I'm not angry about it. I'm just ranting about it because I rant. Maybe I needed help and issues, but no, I don't care that he's on the show. It's obvious why he's there. He's paying off a divorce. Next.
Do you know what? I'd not even thought about that, to be honest. Like when you say because he's getting paid 400k for the gig, I don't know if that's before or after tax.
Yeah.
But yeah, I hadn't thought about that because he's basically getting promoted for like being a bit naughty, getting found out. I do feel sorry for the guy a little bit, apart from the fact I don't because he's Tory. But I think, well, yeah, it's not not my rant. So, but yeah, I think he's a patsy, and he basically does what he's told, like, and obviously makes a lot of money out of it, and it's just a money making thing.
I don't feel sorry for him. He did an absolutely terrible job during the pandemic. He sent a fucking plane to Turkey to pick up PPE, and there was all cameras watching this plane fly over, picked up the PPE, and it was all fucking useless. He did that, and he's got blood on his hands. I'm sorry to say. ITV should really be looking. Well, ITV's loving it. At the end of the day, it's bringing in ratings to a show that's been going 20 years, and I've never been fond of it. Although I used to take for interest in reality TV. I don't think it really means much now, as much with social media, or maybe it means more. I don't know, but look, I don't feel that sorry for him. I feel sorry for his kids. I feel sorry for his ex-wife.
Yeah, absolutely.
But him, no.
Yep, fair enough. Well, that's that done. I mean, the trouble is, the other thing about it is, there's like however many other celebrities on there, but it's not all about them anymore. It's all about like I mean, they're all jostling for attention, aren't they? But it's like they've all got other like stories and whatever. I mean, like Boy George, to his credit, come out with like, it's like they all felt a bit hard done by of getting lumped in there with him. And Boy George did have some good points, like about his mum having COVID or whatever. Not or whatever. Sorry, his mum had COVID. No, I see clips. This is the thing. I don't watch it. I don't even own a TV, thankfully, so I don't have to watch it. But it's on the media, innit? You see it on Twitter. You see the clips on bloody YouTube. I've spent too much time on bloody YouTube, so I cherry pick the bits I want to watch. But yeah, I'm not angry at it because I don't watch it, so I can just not watch it rather than get angry at it. It's easier.
I'm not angry. I'm just ranting because that's what I do. TV will stoop to any level. Well, yeah, and any profit making organization will ultimately, because
I mean the show would be shit if they just had like 10 really nice, like well thought of celebrities just sitting around like cooking beans and like chatting amiably at each other. It's like any show, same as Big Brother or whatever. You've got to have some controversy. To be fair, same as YouTube, you've got to have a little bit of controversy. People are going to watch that shit, so
Actually, you know what? I can go into this in a little bit of depth. The first series of Big Brother, there was controversy because there was one guy gossiping behind others, and they kicked him out. That was in series 1, and as Big Brother escalated, that wouldn't even make the headlines now. I mean, it got bigger and bigger and bigger. People having sex on sofas, covering themselves up, and then actually stopped covering themselves up. So the TV cameras had to do it, and then the footage got leaked, and you can look it up on any other website if you'd really like. So do you remember? Let's be honest. We actually auditioned to get on Big Brother many years ago.
You're going to tell that story? Go on then. Yeah,
Yeah,
we did.
yeah.
We went for it,
And
man. Yeah.
and because we were just ourselves, and they wouldn't let us on because we were just too normal. They clearly didn't know us very well. Oh well,
Exactly.
years later, here we are on YouTube.
The thing I remember about that is we had 3 goes at it as well, because we stood for ages in the queue. We went to Cardiff. Do you remember? It was in Cardiff. We was on the way back from Plymouth. We stopped off in Cardiff for the day, queued up, didn't get in, and then didn't we? Oh, we went to the pub for lunch, didn't we?
We went to the pub for lunch. We got there silly early in the morning, and we queued up. We got in straight away, and then they rejected. And when we queued up, the queue was much longer. And I do remember that lunch. I remember I had a pie. It was very nice, and I was well impressed with the town.
Yeah. Couldn't tell you where it was, but it was in Cardiff.
Yeah, I can't remember. I've only been to Cardiff twice in my life, but
we asked the guy. He said, "Is it okay if we queue up again?" He said, "Yeah, go for it."
And then when we got to the point, the guy at the door said, "Oh no, I saw you earlier. Sorry, the art stance is still the same." And I remember being in this group, right? And then this girl said, "Look, hi, just vote me off," because we were given a task of like decide amongst yourselves who goes, who doesn't. And there's this girl. She said, "Hi, just vote me off. I don't want to be here. I'm just here to support my friend." And we all looked and said, "Okay, fine. Yeah, we'll vote you off." Fine. And then the guy comes back. He goes, "Okay, who are you voting off?" And everyone in that group pointing at her. He goes, "Okay, she goes through to the next round."
Exactly. Yeah.
And he goes, "Because there's something with her because you all voted for her. So she's got a character we like."
Yeah. I don't know if she did that on purpose or she was just genuinely there to help her mate, support her mate, kind of thing. But
who knows?
I think the second time we saw a different producer, so we thought we'd got a shot, and like he weren't having it either.
That was the second time. We didn't do 3 times, mate. We only got there twice. Yeah.
No, we did. We went back round the corner and come for a third time, and the third time we got the producer we'd seen already. So he'd already said to us, "You're not getting a chance." And he said, "Are there any couples here?" And I put my arm around and go, "Yeah, if you want, mate, we'll be a couple." And he said, "No, mate, just go away." So we went.
Oh yeah, but okay, there we came back.
Yeah, definitely 3 times. But there you go. Right, moving on from the shit tip that is reality TV. Shall we have another rant?
Yes, go for it.
Let's see what else we get. I'm assuming that won't come up again. I don't know how it works, but
Well, if it does, just spin it again.
Yeah. Right, here we go then.
Twitter troubles. Oh, discos, drinks. Oh, lots to talk about. Oh, camera, pubs.
Oh, what's it going to go into? Has it gone over?
Craft beer. Oh, yes, I like this. As well. Newly inducted member of the British Guild of Beer Writers, Brasco, has a few things to say about craft beer.
Okay, work away.
Let me take a sip from this very nice beer. So, you, members of the audience, people watching this on playback, what is craft beer? Hi, Sean. Craft beer, right? Okay, I was speaking to our friend Matt Mackay, who's a whiskey producer guy, and he's currently in Belgium having a great time. And craft beer, he told me he thinks it is something you have to do with your hands and something you do, and you have to get involved in it. Quite frankly, only small producers can really do that. Craft what now? Exactly. Craft what now? It means nothing.
craft beer.
My rant is that it means nothing. It is a marketing term. It literally is craft this, craft that. It means nothing. It's in America. You make craft beer, yes, because you do make craft beer. I've seen your videos. In America, it's a tax term. In the UK, it's not. We use a different term for it, called Small Brewers Relief. But it just literally means nothing. It gets up my nose that people think it's some sort of revolutionary concept. Craft is in many things. You know, you get craft carpentry, you get craft pastry making, craft this, craft that, and it just gets a bit poncy sometimes. But I respect anyone starting up a small business and wanting to develop their business and uses the term craft. Go for it. If that's what makes your business a success, go for it. It's just craft fans. People only go, oh, I only do things that are craft. Why? Because it says craft, or is it genuine quality? The problem is, I find people don't question things when they see craft. Fuck craft. Is it good? If fucking Carling produces a decent beer, would you drink it? Or would you say that's not craft?
Oh, that's pushing it a little bit.
Think about that. Because I mean, I love small independent businesses. I've been in touch with my local councillors and my MP this week. Actually, I had a 30-minute MP meeting with my MP about how small businesses are suffering in Croydon. And Croydon has a lot of independent restaurants and bars. And I was literally telling them what they need to do because they're suffering out here. And they agreed with me in some points. I gave them some suggestions as a campaign I'm going to be involved with. Fuck me, am I going to be involved with it? And yeah, you know, but partly why I'm doing this rant thing, because I've got a few things to get off my chest and I'm not happy with the way things are. So hence me, Mr. newly inducted British Guild of Beer Writers. They might live to regret me being a member. Who knows?
How long did you get thrown out for not writing enough?
I mean, we'll see. But yeah, you know, I'm fucking mad. So yeah, be proactive.
There's a good point.
Support businesses. Craft real ale.
There's a good point from Craig. If craft beer is a bullshit marketing ploy, is real ale also a bullshit marketing ploy?
Yes and no. Look, I spoke there. You see the interview with Roger. I go to Roger. There's a tweet from Roger which you disagreed with, and I remember that. Roger Proltz says craft beer literally is craft beer because it is something you manually handle, right?
I don't think I disagree with that.
Real ale is craft beer. That's the thing. They're both right. Craft beer was just a rebrand of real ale, if I'm honest. And when craft beer started coming over here from America, we were like, oh, let's just do what the Americans sod, and let's just sod this fucking great heritage we have of beer. I've got nothing against American beers, American flavors. In fact, you know, you got to go new. But sometimes I like breweries, i.e. at Spatch Hob Day, who go back in time and dig up an old flavor, an old style. I mean, real ale is... Craft beer isn't so much... It is a bullshit marketing term, but it does have... It's just a rebrand from real ale. And I get pissed off with craft people saying, I don't like real ale, man. I'm about the new revolution. Fuck off. It's just good beer.
I mean, real ale was craft beer before craft beer was craft beer. It is kind of a definition of market. So, right, there you go. As Sarah points out, an activity involving skill in making things by hand. And you can't disagree that you do have to make beer pretty much by hand. I'm sure there is some mechanization in the big end of it, but
There is
Pretty much
more
make
on
beer
the
by
big.
hand.
There is with the bigger breweries because they have to do it on a much faster scale.
Yeah.
Put it this way: Foster's puts craft on their cans these days.
Mm.
What the fuck is craft about Foster's? What's Yeah, there you go. It's that's there you go. Can I say next? Or has anyone got any more questions? Beer Writers Guild meeting VMP. Rasco's moved. I can't see the rest.
He'll be after your job next, Luke.
What do you do? Hang on.
He's
Can't see it.
Luke's into politics. Luke's technically a politician.
Is he?
Yeah, he's a councillor.
Is he? I didn't know
In a manner of
that.
speaking, yeah. He does a lot of political kind of stuff. Politics. Independence, important.
Well, mate, fair enough. I'm causing a fair of a shitstorm in Croydon. Oh, I say.
This is a good point. Craig, that's brilliant. Craig says, I would love to try an ale that is not real. Absolutely. That is well put, sir. Well put.
I mean,
I
don't give me.
imagine, Sam, you will drink the UK dry if you get here, and we will help you.
Yeah, no,
Hey, are
don't
we
get me
moving
wrong.
on?
No, don't get me wrong. I don't mind them using the tags. It's more of the people who react to the tags. It's like the Guardian newspaper. Good reporting. I just hate Guardian readers.
Yeah, I haven't got too much more to come on than that. To be fair, like I say, all beer's craft and all beer's real. So yeah.
Yes, yeah. There you go.
Shall we move swiftly on and go back to the wheel for something else?
If you want, I was going to say one other thing. I tried a can of that Guinness coffee. I thought it was good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Art and Craft gave me a can to ask me what I thought of it. I thought it was very good, but it lacked any depth and flavor profile, if I'm honest. But there you go. There's a major producer, which everyone lets off the hook for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And there you go. So look,
Well,
I don't
here we
mind
go.
if these big breweries, if you want to produce good beer anytime soon, I'll drink it. But you
Yeah.
don't. So I go
There's
with the orders.
Here's a quick interlude for you. I know you'll have an answer to this one.
Give me a good reason to have a beer. Because you can.
I would say that is a reason in itself. Having a beer is a good reason to have a beer
be,
in and of itself.
because it'll make you smile. And you can rant.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Everyone let all their negativity go. So
Yeah.
everyone rant, start ranting. Revolution
Turns
on
out,
the comments.
It turns out, Luke, we haven't moved very swiftly on, but we will do in a sec.
Oh, sorry, Luke. Maybe can you put that on rant about Luke?
That's a great one. Right, should we get the wheel out again then, Resco?
Yes, hit it, baby, hit it.
Okay.
Just add Luke John in there, okay?
I like to think this is going rather well, but it could all go crazy now. I don't know what the next one's going to be. So here we go. I do love the sound effects.
Here we go. Yeah, I like that. Here we go. Oh, beer. Oh.
Festivals.
The one I didn't want.
That's the one you put on there.
Yes, I thought it needed a bit of controversy, but oh, for fuck's sake, why isn't Brewdog on?
It doesn't need to necessarily be anything to random. You can rant positively as well as negatively, by the way.
Well, yeah, fuck. I've actually been, you know what, I've been to a Brewdog for the first time in a long time, but I can't talk about it because I didn't put it in the show notes. You'd be surprised which one it was, or not surprised. But anyway, beer festivals. So here's the rant about beer festivals. Well, it's not. Beer festivals, here's the thing. I don't know how relevant they are. Seriously. with the age of the internet and what we did in COVID and how the internet's developed, are they relevant? Do you find any new flavors? I mean, everyone's been a bit conservative of what they put out on beer festivals anymore. The beer market has peaked and it is now in decline, sadly. That is a sad fact, and that is God's honest truth. It is only enthusiasts like us, similar to what took place in the 1970s with the formation of Camera, who can now keep this beer taste revolution going. So, my experience at beer festivals of late has been fun, but maybe it's my palate. Maybe it's just the festivals not having any money. Maybe it's the breweries not wanting to put anything exciting out there. Are they still relevant? Are they just massive discotheques? I mean, it's just a question of, is it just a question of what is what? Who is what? I don't know. I'm a bit confused. Let me know in the comments because I'm not sure how relevant beer festivals are. I mean, I always have fun because I make my fun. Beer festivals should be trying new beer and should be fuck. They've got this thing in the way, so I have to do this.
Beer festivals should be trying new beers and not beers you've been drinking about the past 100 years. That's a very good point. I could rant on that a little bit as well.
Go ahead.
Well, no, because that's a very good point, Chuck. Because a lot of the beer festivals that we go to, I mean, I don't know, a lot of the beers, and you see breweries like well-known breweries who will rock up with. I'll tell you the case in point. Will rock up with their like flagship beer. A case in point, Ealing, fantastic beer festival, right? But Fuller's will always put London Pride
ESB.
and ESB. And I'm like, that's great, and people will probably drink it. But why bother? Because they can just go to the pub down the road on the way home for a pint of ESB. It's just, I mean, all right, drinking Pride or ESB on Gravity is probably a different experience to the pub down the road. But why bother? Unless, actually, I think the reason is there probably still is people that haven't had a pint of London Pride.
Well, again, exactly. Festivals is an event to bring people into beer, as it did for me in 2006 at Ealing. And, in 2019, I had some ESB at Ealing. I'm thinking, can I have a little bit of ESB, please? I'm wondering what the hell's different about it. Maybe it does taste it. I tasted it and I thought, yeah, it tastes like ESB, and chucked it, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
Look, it's not about, the thing is, you've got to think about it in the wider context. It's not about you, it's about everyone else. And
this is true. I mean, I always want to try new beers. I want to try something different, something new, something exciting. So a festival like Ealing and GBBF is ideal for that. So I don't want to see London Pride and even other breweries like their regular flagship beers. I don't want to see it. I do want to see it. I just won't drink it because I'm trying all the other, new and exciting stuff.
Yeah, well, yeah. How do you define that? Because look, put it this way: when I was at GBF, I saw from St. Augustine's Men and Jew, and I had Men and Jew.
Yeah.
I was given a box of it from one of my clients, and I had it happily on bottle many times. It was great, but I saw it on cask. I made a beeline for it just to see what the flavour of it was different on cask. So this is it. Jim, the journalist, our friend, he makes a rule at GBF. I always go for something new. How do you define that? Because I will always go for Broken Dream at GBF. If I see a beer which is on cask, like London Black was on a cask at GBF for one day only, and oh my God, is that something on cask? I mean, it's something on keg, and I'm going to do a video on that in the next couple of weeks.
But then that said, like we will always go back to Broken Dream. We
We'll
will
always go back to
probably always
Plum
go
Porter.
back to a certain plum porter, especially on cask. To be fair, Luke, and that's a good point that Luke makes. You probably don't need to see that at a beer festival when there's so many other good beers from Titanic. I presume he's talking about a Titanic one.
Yep.
Um,
The,
but
the thing
there
is,
are
I'm
some
not.
beers that I will just always have a pint at. It tell you what, it used to be a GBBF. It used to be. I would always have a pint of something like um, Bank Top mild or something like that. But I would only have it at GBBF because I don't see it down in London that much. So there was a couple of beers that I would only have in probably the early 2010s or the early 2000s that I would only have at GBBF, but they were like that brewery's flagship beer.
Yeah,
But to see
I'm
it in
going.
London, I would always have a pint of it. But it
Mm-hmm.
would be classed as fairly basic, like Plum Porter is, like Pride is, like ESB is. So depending on the geography, I mean, do you remember
Go for
2018,
it.
our first one? We always went back to the same place. We always went back to the same beer. I always went back to Thornbridge.
Mm,
Yeah.
hang on. Okay.
That's
Is
a
a
good question.
festival
That
like
is a good question. That's
London?
one for you.
Okay, I'll answer that. Is a festival like London Craft Beer Festival, Brew London, putting the likes of GBF to shame? No fucking way, in my opinion. Okay, let me just whole separate rant. So GBBF went through a evolutionary change, and I know for a fact that camera people went to the other festivals like Brew London, like London Craft Beer Festival. No, in 2018, camera upped its game on GBBF. And then in 2019, people said this was absolutely amazing. They brought in a lot more. There was a lot more music. There was a whole big giant keg display. They made it official that we're going to have keg, although they did have keg before. They brought in Perry's. They brought in gins. They made a big deal of it. And GBBF 29 was just full of activity. This year, unfortunately, due to the market and the way it is, it was a bit cut down. London Craft Beer Festival and to some extent Brew London have changed GBBF for the better. And I think GBBF has changed them for the better. So no shame intended. I think GBBF is still a big player. People just like to
Mm.
rant about things. And I think people shit on GBBF a bit too much. That's just my opinion. But hey,
Yeah.
up there,
I
there's
mean, I
criticism
frown
from G.
slightly at the camera thing, but it's still where we came from, where we started, and I'll still kind of. I'm not vociferously vocal about it, but I'll support a camera beer festival. There'll always be something I can drink. That's an
If,
interesting one. Brew London can get in a sea.
what do you mean?
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, how bad is it? I can't say because I've not been, but keep meaning to. But well, this
It's
is a good one. That's like
uh,
the YouTube equivalent of fan art, Sharky. You're doing your own stream. Fair play.
mm,
It's like response, call and response. Good stuff. I tell you what, this is hitting all the right notes. This has been so drinkable. It's 9%. I've had
yeah,
750 ml of it. I'm really enjoying it,
mate,
and now I'm feeling a little wobbly, Rasco.
mate. No, I'm really enjoying this. This is actually getting better as it goes
Cool,
down. It
cool, man.
it doesn't overdo itself with the flavors. The flavors are just balanced. Everything balance is the key with beer. Okay, what's Craig on about?
It's the people, the public, are the problem at Pre London.
Interesting point. Um, my problem
That
with Brew
includes
London,
yourself. That includes yourself, Craig. I hate the public, but I'm also a member of the public.
it's okay. I think, was anything actually new at Brew London? Because quite
Yeah,
frankly,
loads.
no, no, nothing was new at Brew London. This is my point. Even at London Craft Beer Festival, nothing was new. Nothing really actually. Although I have to say, I'll take that back. At London Craft Beer Festival, it was too fucking hot. It was an SAS um, challenge. It's not their fault. It's not no one's fault. But at Brew London, they had no excuse because I mean, nothing. I mean, everything was a bit conservative. I remember speaking to people thinking, have you found any beer discoveries? And they were like, no. And it was all very nice, had fun. But when it came to around about 10 o'clock in the evening, I was done. And I think I was ranting about and saying how Ealing Beer Festival was much better. Anyway, Udon isn't the best, overhyped and oversold, in my opinion. You might be true. It's very dark in there, and
There's a bit
you're
commercial
always
on it.
pushed. You're pushed to the back of the venue, and then you forget there's 3 different rooms with other breweries, and that's a shame. I feel sorry for those breweries.
That's a good point. GBF used to move around. No, I don't think. I only think it used to move around by necessity.
No. Well, it did when GBF did move around a bit when there was some work going on in
Yeah,
Kensington Olympia. But way back when, and Roger Proltz confirms this, GBF used to move around the country a fair bit. There was talk before the pandemic that each region in the UK would have its own GBF. That's now in the toilet, sadly.
it still
There's
does
now
to a certain extent. Just
there's
not the
GBF.
same place.
There's GBF Winter, which is moving around a bit, but the Great British Beer Festival is firmly London based. It used to be in Ali Pali, and Roger Proltz told me about a fire taking place at Ali Pali. It did start in Covent Garden once upon a time. You know what? Here's the thing. The origins of craft beer actually start with GBBF because the great beer writer Michael Jackson, no, not him, the beer writer, went to GBBF and he thought it was an amazing experience. He's an American. He went over to back home to America.
Okay.
He said, this is what they're doing with beer over there. This is blah, blah, blah. And apparently played a part in the craft beer revolution, if you believe in that revolution. And continue. Hello, Paul, my friend.
What are you calling miserable? We're like excited and like we're doing positive rants as much as we're doing negative rants. But yeah, I see your point. Thanks for popping in, Paul. Cheers. Good to see you, mate.
Paul, how's your side doing? Anyway, that's what I'm gonna say. Don't talk about my side. I noticed my side isn't on the Rantometer.
Sharks on the Jasper. I've still got a Jasper in the cupboard. I should probably get that out at some point. Hope you enjoyed it, to be fair. Right, shall we move on for another rant, Rasco? Do you want another spin?
Yes, we have 13 minutes left. Hit me up, baby.
Okay. Oh, do you know what? At this point, I didn't think I was going to enjoy this beer. I got in the show notes that I was going to do a craft beer cocktail and mix it up. I even got the alcohol ready for it, but I've been finishing this and enjoying it, mate. So.
Oh yeah, I even got backup beer.
You got a backup?
Overtone.
Is that Overtone?
Yeah, mate.
I see. Well, I got a backup beer here. I've just got to go and get a glass for this. So I'm going to spin this one, see what the next rant is, and then nip out, get a glass, and I'll be back right shortly.
Oh, God, you're going to miss my ranting.
No, I won't miss it. I'll be able to hear it. I'm only in the next room. Right, so let's get back on. Let's get back onto the Wheel of Fortune, the Wheel of Shame, Wheel of Names. It's called.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, everyone's talking to you. That's nice.
Superb. Thank you for chatting.
Whoa. I'm just sick of going down to London to big festivals. It's time to get regional festivals.
It's a fair point. He's got to come a long way as Luke, to be fair. But there's also some good festivals up that way. So, do you know what I mean? Fair play. There's some good stuff.
I agree. I'd love to. Mate, go to the York Beer Festival in every September. I've been meaning to do that for years. I was going to go this year, but then Liz Truss came along and I couldn't go. And that's that.
Right, you ready for one more spin, Rasco?
Yes, mate.
Let's go.
Might be able to get 2 more spins. Who knows?
Ooh, yeah, we'll go 2 more spins. That says disagree. Now you put disco on the thing. I've added the word drinks, but you go for it, son. Whatever you want to say, mate. I'm fine. I'm also going to nip out. I'm going to nip out. I'm going to nip out for a. I'm going to nip. I'm going to nip out to make some room for the next beer and get a glass for it. So I'm just going to change the banner. Have you noticed I've been putting the banners on the bottom
I
there?
love it. I love the banner, mate. Good on
There
you.
you go.
I've
Banners
seen
are
it.
good,
Yeah,
man. I like the banners. The banners are a
yeah.
good plan.
Disco drinks.
Look,
So,
look,
what
look at
does
us being
disco?
dragging ourselves into the 20th century,
Well,
doing all
currently,
like
Rascal around disco drinks. What does disco drinks mean?
that's your choice. You've got a rant about it. You put disco on the show list. I just added the
Uh,
word drinks.
Yeah, I was
Well,
putting the
actually, no. I tell you
fingers.
what it was. It's because when I did that, when I did the wheel, like I said to you earlier, it all came up as I'd already done it for some show that never happened. So it was meant to be you're meant to take a shot or a drink, but don't worry about that. Just go with the
Oh,
term disco. Whatever you want to rant about me, mate, it's fine.
okay. Hang on. There you go, Luke. Indie man. I want to go to Indie
Ah,
man for years. Is Manchester. Manchester has a lot of good beer festival. Lucky Spurs. You go Spurs. Oh dear.
I'm going to get a glass and
Beer.
make some room for the next beer. You can either do the comments or rant away, sir.
Uh, okay. Disco beers. Here's my thing about disco beers. My colleague here has a stash. He has a stash of over, well, a certain number of beers, and he's not drinking them. What's the point of having a fucking stash and you don't drink it? I mean, it's like, I just buy food and I don't eat it. What's the fucking point? You're meant to fucking drink it. There you go, disco beers. Hit me up in the comments on that. That's my rant about that. I don't know. Evening, chaps. We're all a mess. Yet someone in top four and just all around crap. Oh, you're talking about your team. Hey, do you want to hear about my team? Hey, we were top of the league. It felt good. It felt really good. No, we're not now. We're not even in the playoffs now. I doubt we will be in the playoffs by the end of the season. There you go, QPR. Manchester is easier, but about the same time to get there. There you go. Look, there you go. Manchester. I think Manchester is going to do better than Leeds when it comes to beer capital of the nation. I don't even think London is the beer capital because I think because London's so overpriced that you can't actually get the creativity in beer. There's already too many people who are just coming from new money and just don't have that creative sense. Oh, did you hear my rant about disco beers?
No, but I'll check it out tomorrow on the replay.
Good, good. Drink your fucking
Have you
stash.
moved on? Have you got that
Yeah,
little to say about disco drinks?
yeah, yeah. Or do you want me to talk about everyone naming a beer at you?
Well, there's only been two currently. There's been three in total, but only two currently. I'm going to make it my mission to get somebody to put Rasco on a beer
I
name.
need no recognition. My recognition is my work.
It's not about recognition, mate. It's just about like getting your name
There,
on a beer, man.
there I am, and you know what? That conversation I had with the MP, they said you're a beer reviewer. I said yes, I am, and they took me seriously then. And there I am in the British Guild of Beer Writers. There you go. Mhm. I should have
I
fireworks
don't
come
get
up now.
I don't get the mad squirrel glass out very often, but
I
it
love
does
that
make the
glass.
tip beer taste good. To be fair, so I quite
It
enjoyed that.
does. It
I really
does.
enjoyed that, Nikazi. I'm gonna have to have a chat with with Raggy about it, but yeah, I quite enjoyed that. That was a nice beer.
I still haven't finished mine, and we've got 6 minutes left. Hit me up.
Here's a good point you're going to agree with.
Disco needs Rasco to join him and often to have him drink. Well, that there's a certain video being discussed about that.
We can sort that out. I tell you what, I'm going to move on to. I feel like I need a stout to finish off. Like that It was really nice, like apple flavour. But I'm going to go Park Brewery down in Kingston. I love their beers. Need to put an order in with them. They've got an American brown out at the moment called Isabella, which is amazing. I had it 2 years ago. Missed out last year. But yeah, Brigadero chocolate, Brigadero milk stout. But I suspect it's only 3.5%. I didn't realise that. Shit. But
Ooh,
might as well follow a
ooh, ooh.
9% with a 3.5. Why not? What can you do?
Big up the Madman Squirrel. Pretty sure they're angling for a takeover. But
Yeah.
okay, Paul, why
Do
do
you know
you
they got
say?
they got a new tap room in Watford? I think it's open now.
Yeah,
Paul can
they've
tell
been
me.
planning that before the financial chaos.
Yeah.
Okay, Paul, here's my counter argument for that. Who would take over a brewery in this kind of climate?
I can't
Seriously.
see. I can't see Mad Squirrel. I don't know. They're independent enough. They're in. They've got 6 tap rooms now. They're in that kind of Hertfordshire, just
Mm,
outside of London kind of curve.
mm.
Um,
But it is the thing, like, look, if they
or
are
does he
angling
mean
for it,
taking over somebody else? They could take over a smaller brewery in the Hertfordshire area, but
no, look, put it this way. Look, if they are angling to be taken over, I don't blame them. Look, you could earn a good fair amount of money and walk away with no stresses. And quite frankly, there's more stresses on breweries than there has been for some time. Um,
oh yeah,
and
yeah.
I'm not ranting, I'm not complaining, I'm not even criticizing Paul, but I mean, I don't see any business wanting to take over a brewery in this climate. Even Heineken would be slightly reluctant. It's only
Well,
slightly.
no, but they're also. I mean, there's breweries that have got to that mid level, like Big Smoke, for example, who've been opening a lot of tap rooms, a lot of pubs, but they're going down the pub route rather than rather than taking over other breweries. But it always happens in business. You get the smaller breweries, the medium sized breweries that will overtake a smaller brewery to become a larger medium sized brewery. So it's possible.
Mm.
And also, there's a lot of investment companies who think they can make a mint. They think
They,
making beer
they,
is
yeah,
license to
but
print money, and it's not necessarily. But
everyone's disposable income has been reduced. I mean, we saw this back in 2008. I'm just not sure. So it's more of a question I'm putting out than an answer. I don't actually have an answer. I've got more questions than answers. All right, hit
well,
me up.
yeah.
Rant me. 3 minutes.
Oh,
Come
let's
on.
do another rant. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, so
Honestly, I've got
uh,
more questions than answers. I don't have any answers.
haven't we all? Haven't we all, sweetheart? Right, let's go back on to the I want to call it the Rantometer of news, like they do on Have I Got News for You? But I'm not sure that's a thing. But yeah, so back onto the
Do it.
Rantometer.
I'm gonna start psychically projecting what I want. No, no, go away, go. Yes, yes.
You have landed on Beer Mongrel, as I'm calling it. I refuse to call it. It was enough for me to type that into the Rantometer. But yeah,
You should have put it. Should,
Beer Mongrel is the latest one.
fuck, we're going.
I have a
We're going
feeling
late.
you've got a lot to say about that.
Fucking do I? Fuck me sideways. We're going to in 1 minute 30. Shall I try and do it all in 1 minute 30, or should I just go overboard? Fuck it. Here we go. Brewdog. So, if you go onto the BBC Sounds website, that is where you can collect BBC podcasts. There is a podcast which, when the BBC documentary on Brewdog came out, I found that documentary good, but a little bit lacking. The podcast makes up for it. This company, and I mean company, right? I'm not going to get angry on this one. It's just a company of people's egos. It's a company that shows no regard for people. Now, if you are on a mission to make shitloads of money. You go for it. I respect that. You have to show drive and determination, and that's great. You have to shed skin. I respect that, but you do it in a good way. This company hasn't. There is a long list of documents saying you haven't, and it's on a global scale. I mean, that's just not right. You can't do that. People go to work, and work is stressful. And when you become a family person, it becomes more stressful. So you need to be able to support it. People, you, people need to live. They don't have to live for their work. But if you want to live for your work, that's your choice. It doesn't need to be forced upon you. Brewdog were on a major cultural shift, and they have changed things. There's absolutely no doubt about that. They changed the way they beer. They became a major influencer. We always found them very annoying, even before the scandal was broke. We were not big fans. But that company just has no respect. And the amount of PR. Okay, I can talk about it. Hey, Disco, what I should have said at the beginning of the show, I went down to Brewdog Waterloo 3 weeks. Yeah. Well, you see, that's that much media hype about it. Media beer, as I call it. I went down, and there's there's actually a lot of secret hidden bars around Waterloo, right? But there's what you know what? I'd rather go to the Waterloo Tap any day of the week, right? The Waterloo
Same.
Brewdog Waterloo is massive. I mean, it's more bigger than the block I live in. I mean, it's the biggest bar I have ever been in, mate. It's got.
Did you go on the slide though?
I did not. I saw it, but I did not.
That would have been a great short, man. Get your thing out. Just do the short, even though we don't promote beer
no, but that's it. There's no way I'm going to promote them. There's no way. But here's the thing. They've got a shop. They've got several floors. It all looked fresh and new. It looked gorgeous. I have to admit that whoever designed that place and they closed down 6 Brewdogs to make that place happen. By the way, they've got to show they've got to have a big percentage of profit. I think it's 18% profit next year because they took out this TSB agreement. Listen to the podcast, you hear all about it. They might be in shit next year. They might be in the money. Who knows? But the fact is, this bar they had 28 beers there. 3 of them were guest beers. The rest of Brewdog, plain boring Brewdog. You're just drinking it, and it tastes a bit like cardboard, if I'm honest. And I got myself over to the Waterloo Tap. Quite frankly, much smaller bar. It's like the size of my living room, and I don't have a big living room.
Well, it's under a railway arch, isn't it? So that's how big railway arches are.
It is.
Although the beer mongrel at Waterloo is in the bloody station, isn't it? So they've got much more space there. So.
And you get this, and it has 26 beers on tap. So this massive
That's good numbers.
Massive bar has 28 beers, which are and then you got the Waterloo Tap, which is quite frankly much better. Do what you want, people. Feel what you want. Brewdog are about hype. They are not about quality. And that's, I could go into the sexist rants a bit more, whatever. They don't respect people. They respect profit. They don't respect quality. If beer, it ages you, it makes you a bit poorer. So you've got to make sure you're drinking something decent. And quite frankly, they don't deliver. But they do lots of hype. They took it straight out the Top Gear Jeremy Clarkson book, and they amplified it. And then you got other breweries like S43 who did copy their marketing profile. And that's that. That's all I've got to say.
It's a difficult one for me. It's a difficult one for me because They brew a lot of beers that I've got no time for, like you say with the S43 thing a little bit, but also their stouts. I have featured their stouts a lot prior to sort of 2020 because the stouts are pretty good because they chuck a lot of stuff at it, but they also try to chuck it stuff a lot at it cheaply. I haven't featured Beer Mongrel on the channel for some time, and I probably won't again, mostly because of how it all kicked off on social media. As somebody said here, let me see. I'll come up with this one. Did you see? Did
Yeah.
you see the podcast about them?
Which one?
This one.
No.
I did listen. I did listen to that. I did listen to that. Yeah, go on.
Just get it. Did you
Yeah.
notice busy the Brewdog bar was during the trade session at Brew London, Rasco? I don't recall it being very busy. Towards the end of it, it got very busy. At the trade session in the afternoon, and it got a bit busy on the Friday. I don't know what it was like on the Saturday. I did recall it getting a bit busier, and I remember Martin Dickey wandering around. Not
Now that's an
the other.
interesting one because he's not so vocal. He's not so vocal on the social media, and there's a lot of social media stuff about it. Because obviously James Watt is the one who does the social media, but Martin Dickey is a bit more incognito. Now this is the question here: did you see the Diary of a CEO podcast? And I don't listen to podcasts, but I did watch that, and it was very interesting. Not particularly revealing, and not particularly in a good light. I didn't think. It's worth checking out, Rasco, that one. Diary of a CEO.
Back to Paul's comment. Yeah, at the trade session, I do remember it picking up. I remember taking a video, and I sent it to you. Of like, there's Brewdog, and there was no one there. And then I moved across, and there was the Lords, and there was everyone else, and everyone else was busy. Yes, they did pick up at Brew London. Who knows? I don't know. But put it this way, no, I'm going to backtrack what I was about to say. I'm going to say something else. Yes, brew pussies are got done. Even if beer festivals this year, it has noticeable and people are staying clear. I've never had one. Quite sure I will never will, and it's cheating on road. Well, that's your choice, mate. I would actually say try it. Try it. See what the big fuss is about. There's no harm in doing it.
I need to get a hashtag going. I need to get Luke round to the hashtag of beer mongrel rather than brew pussy. A, because it's a bit rude, and B, it uses the word brew, so it's a bit close to the bone. But I think beer mongrel much better explains the problems at the aforementioned company.
Hey, there's another point about Paul's comment. Public sessions dead, but the industry folk are sucking up. Yeah, and you might be right because they might want
right
to.
now. I could rant about this one. This is a very good point, Adam. Actually,
One second.
Collab Fest.
Just 1 second before you go.
Yeah,
Take
go on,
a
mate.
breather.
Yeah, go on,
Get
mate.
your rant together. Paul's right.
Yeah.
The industry might want to get close to Brewdog because they might want, because Brewdog, the one thing Brewdog does do good is that in their bars they put other breweries in there, and it does act as a gate. Yeah, it does act as a gateway, and I think everyone might be desperate. Brew London is, and particularly a trade session in Brew London, is known for industry deals taking place more than any other festival that I'm aware of. But what do I know? Paul,
what I would
you're
say
absolutely
is,
bang on the mark, mate. Can I just say something, Paul? I love your reviews.
yes, mate.
I think you've got such a great quality in your reviews. Brilliant point you've raised it. I've gone back to it three times. Go ahead, Disco Rant. We're already gone above time. I should be in bed.
Oh yeah. No, the Collab Fest thing, the Beer Mongrel Collab Fest thing, yeah, it's all very well, and there's a lot of dissent about it, especially on Twitter. I mean, what talking about Twitter, but yeah, I think the thing about that, it is like you say, Rasco, that it is they do good work in getting other breweries together, getting the other smaller breweries out there, but
yeah,
also
just on
other
the
smaller breweries
taps.
collabing with Beer Mungle is a controversial subject. I think Turning Point, my friends at Turning Point, kind of summed it up a little bit because they do the collab fest with specific bars. So what Turning Point said was, well, before all the controversy came out, they'd already agreed to do it, but they did it because they support in their local bars and all the individuals at the bars. So they sort of had to do it anyway. And to be fair, they did all the. I have had some Beer Mungle Collab Fest beers last year, and they were all really good. To be fair, but then all that kind of James Watt controversy came out, and there was a lot of issues with it. But the beers were good, and they were supporting all the individuals at the bars. What I would say is, rather than support the Beer Mungle stuff, Collab Fest is much better. Elusive Brew have just brought out their latest Collab Fest stuff, and they've got some really amazing microbreweries and small breweries on that collab list that I'm much more excited about, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I completely agree with you. And the best thing Brewdog ever did was having guest breweries on their taps in their bars.
Well, yeah, to be
That's
fair,
my
yeah, yeah.
that's my thing about the whole Waterloo place. 28 taps. You got three. Oh, for fuck's
Not reading that
sake!
comment out.
It was down.
Oh, sorry, mate. I was just going through here.
Paul, you keep doing what
Yeah,
you're
no,
doing,
Paul's
brother.
checking.
Honestly, Paul, you just give me a bell. We'll go for a beer anytime.
Yeah, but Paul's a big channel now. A big channel overlord, isn't it?
We don't have to put our faces on the internet all the time. For fuck's sake. I'm not that fragile ego. Right, Disco, I want to open this beer, and I know we're
Yeah, go for
way
it, man. Yeah, do the next beer, man. I've already done the next beer. I've done the second beer.
Actually, you talk and you diss my beer intake while I go.
No, what I'm going to do, I'm going to talk about this Park Brewery, Brigadero and Milk Stout. I'm a big fan of Park Brewery. I don't get to them enough. They're only about 8 miles down the road, just outside the free delivery area. But they're in Kingston Richmond kind of way. This is really good. Plenty of chocolate, milk stout stuff going on. Really enjoying the balance from this chocolate stout. It's subtle chocolate. It's a milk stout, so it's got some chocolate, some coffee notes, but it's really like smoothing it on the balance of the chocolate apple, man. Really good. Really good. Oh, that's an interesting. Dickie's beer reviews. Welcome along, and indeed, cheers. Yes, Rasco definitely went to the loo, but he's at least this time, after previous experience, turned his microphone off. Hopefully, he can still hear us though, so he can hear me talking about this. But hopefully, he's turned the microphone off.
I took my
Never
microphone
met
off.
a beer expert in my life, and hopefully, never will. Well, we're all beer experts, and we're all beer enthusiasts
in my life, and
we all say we're beer enthusiasts.
Hi, have we met? I'm a member of the British Guild of Beer Writers, apparently.
Doesn't make you an expert, sweetheart, but I'll put that comment up there, especially as a year coming back.
I actually literally did say that in the pitch. I am not an expert. I'm an enthusiast. I put that in the comments. No, Paul, you must have. Oh, hang on. No. There is documented evidence that you have, Paul. And you're in a video with me at Brew London with a beer expert. You go clock that one. And that lady has released a book. She's also a brewer and TV celeb.
British Guild of Beer Experts. That would be a great guild to
Well,
start.
I'll start it.
Mate,
I'm going to
mate,
start it now.
you could charge $8 a blue. You could get like a you could charge $8 for people like to get guaranteed beer expert status. I believe that's a
Yes,
thing now.
indeed. Oh dear. I'm actually asking Jim, the journalist, is going to pay it.
Oh, that reminds me. Do you want another Ras? Shall we spin the wheel one more time, Rasco?
Yeah, one. All right, we're going into overtime. I'm doing this overtone Big Joe at
Oh yeah, go on.
11%.
Tell me about that.
The first sip is okay.
What is it?
It's
What is it, by the way?
it's an imperial pancake breakfast stout. Okay, can I be honest? I'm a little bit skeptical when I hear pancake things, and I just it sounds like hype, and it's usually
Okay.
pancake beers. They're nice, but they're not great. And when you're
I think it's
paying,
basically an excuse for a pastry stout, but it's not. It doesn't always
yeah,
necessarily hit the mark.
and pastry stouts for me, there's only a few which I would say which were oh yeah, and
Okay,
there
so
was
what are
mostly
you getting off it? Are you getting some kind of pastry, kind of cakiness, or are you getting like just chocolate or what?
I'm getting sweetness.
Okay,
That's it, sweetness and a bit of depth. That's it.
okay. Here's a good question
Yeah,
for you. I like that one, Paul. That's a good shout. You've spoke to. What would you say if you said to Jager if she's a beer expert? What do you think she'd say?
oh, I'm being recorded now.
I don't think it's libelous. I think it's fine. Like
Okay. True. Rasco is described as Jager's beer expert to her face. What do you think she'd say? I don't know. I don't know. She certainly knows her beer.
yeah.
She's qualified in it. She's a Sion, Cicerone, whatever they're called. Um, she's
Cicero.
highly talented, highly motivated person. Ooh.
I
But
think I think I think it's fair to say, like you say, she knows her stuff, but any head brewer or brewer isn't necessarily an expert because you should never stop learning stuff. Even if you brew beer commercially, I don't think any head brewer will say they're an expert. I think they will say they're a brewer.
yeah,
But
I think you're right there, mate. And this is what I'm. Look, I'm overall scared. I've been scared for 2-3 years now about the experimentational side in beer is coming to a close, and I just think, yeah, I just what you're saying. I don't want anyone to declare themselves an expert. I just want beer to keep being pioneering. That's all I want, really. I want
yeah,
bubble
yeah,
gum. I want bubble gum flavored beer. I want beer using yeast from Mars and
yeah,
hops from Dimension X. I actually want that. Although I criticize it in their marketing, I want them to prove me wrong. I want them to
but
prove,
yeah,
hey, go
yeah.
fuck you, Rasco. I literally don't want them to challenge me. So look, I just want beer to be challenging. What? Who is an expert? I don't know.
I think it'll always change because you get to a certain point where you think you've had every possible type of beer or style or whatever, and there'll always be something different coming out. You know.
And then you go to GBBF and then you see Formbridge mixing two beers together, which blows your mind.
All right then. Right, one more spin. Should we have one more spin?
Yeah, hit it, and then that's it. We've gone over
Hit me, baby,
time.
one more time. I think we said that one 3 more times ago.
We did.
Right, here we go. Right, no messing. Let's get straight on. We done that one.
No, it's just in Twitter troubles.
Twitter troubles. Yeah, it's gone on to the next thing. Twitter troubles. There you go. Because we'd already done. I'm a celebrity at the start of the show. If you missed that one, go back and look at the start of the show. So Twitter troubles. Talk to me about Twitter troubles. What do you know about Twitter troubles, Rasmus?
You know what? I'm going to wrap this up within 5 minutes flat because I want another beer-related one, if I'm honest. Twitter troubles. All right, what is it one? If you go onto a news organization based on YouTube and other platforms called TLDRE, TLDR, whatever. Yep. I like them. As they're not on the conspiracy network, if I'm honest. They just analyze news and compress it and let you have the facts when they compress it from several sources, several mainstream sources, if I'm honest, or lower mainstream sources. And they said this, they did this very compressing, they did this great thing on TLDR business. And they kept making this point. Advertisers own the internet. Advertisers own the internet. Twitter's troubles are simple. They've been leaking cash. Me and you had an argument several years ago because I was getting pissed off with Twitter because I'm just a glory hunter and I want to go, push.
You pushed me onto Twitter in the first place.
Yeah, I did push you onto Twitter in the first place, and then I tried pushing you off Twitter, and
onto Instagram and Facebook. But there you go.
There you go. Yeah, here we are on YouTube, and but what might I say? The live show was your idea, but there you go.
Can't be blamed for everything.
Well, something at least. So therefore, what was on about Twitter? Yeah. So Twitter has been leaking cash for a long fucking time. And along comes Elon, who makes out, I'm going to make Twitter something. All of a sudden he's in sales. They tries to get out of it because he realizes, oh shit, I can't actually do anything. And then they sue him. And then he says, okay, I'll buy you. And I walks in with a big sink. The problem is with Twitter is they've been leaking cash. They can't make profit because they're too ethical. If they want to make cash, they have to go to conspiracy.net. And what's this going to do? Because Twitter is a major platform for businesses and politicians. I'm not sure what it's going to do. I mean, advertisers are walking away from Twitter, and Elon's saying, "I'm going to charge the blue tick people $8 a month." You're going to be.
He stopped that now. He stopped that now because because there were so many parody accounts getting blue ticks and then putting stuff up that was blatantly libelous or like some kind of fun. So he stopped all that. So I don't know what they're doing.
Look, Twitter's problem is Elon. And what that does for beer culture, I don't know, if I'm honest. I mean, you're a bit of a Twitter searcher and more than me.
Yeah, I spend a lot of time on social media, all of the social media. That my point about social media is it is what you make of it. So if you see something controversial on Twitter or Facebook or whatever, you don't have to interact with it. You can just pass it aside. But a lot of people can't. They have to have that rant. They have to have that blah, blah, blah. And I think Elon Musk is one of them people. He has to have he has to win. Basically, he has to win.
Yeah, here's the thing about Elon Musk. He made his money.
What is he winning? What is he winning?
Well, I think it's going to bleed him dry because I'm not sure he has the business intellect that everyone thinks he has. He made his money by betting. He made his money by betting on his own companies that they were going to do such and such. He gambled it, and every other move he's done since then, I think he got lucky. I mean, he made a stupid shitload of money. He saw an anomaly, and he got lucky. I think he's there's something with Elon which doesn't make sense. I just don't see that pragmatism or that business sense with Elon. It's just I've made shitloads of money. I'm going to do this, this, and that, and it doesn't really matter because I have so much in the bank. It doesn't matter. Tesla is not doing too well, and I've contemplated buying a Tesla car. I won't deny it. It's we'll see. We'll see.
Well, yeah. I mean, he's got fingers in a lot of pies. That was the thing. I didn't realize he was like part of the company that formed PayPal.
Yes.
I did not know that. I mean, I don't do PayPal because they messed me up in the early 2000s, so I refused to do them full stop. Much like I refused to do Amazon and eBay and all that kind of corporate bullshit company business. But there's a thing, yeah. I mean, again, Paul probably doesn't need to do Twitter because you're on YouTube and you're doing well. But we kind of started on Twitter. You pushed the Twitter towards what we started on. We started on Twitter and YouTube at the same time, innit? So you use the Twitter to push people towards the YouTube, and we've got more followers on Twitter, but we've got more followers on Instagram than we have on Twitter. But we've got more followers on Twitter and Instagram than we have on YouTube. But we're using Twitter to push and Instagram to push. I don't know how it works. It's like sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But it's still good fun. I started off on Twitter just to find information about breweries and mostly music. My personal Twitter account, I used to find out about music and breweries. And then you put us on Twitter, so I found out more about breweries and then used it to push, like do beer reviews. I don't even do that many beer reviews on Twitter anymore. I used to. Do you remember we had the argument? It's like I thought Twitter was a good thing to do because it meant you could just get that information out. And then Instagram was the place to be. So we went to Instagram and now we linked the two, Instagram to Twitter. And then we wanted to do more YouTube, but we was kind of had more followers on Instagram. And it's like, I don't know who followers us on which platform, but we do them all. And then you go, let's do Facebook as well. Okay, yeah. The next thing is when you tell me to do TikTok or Snapchat, or Snapchat's not even a thing anymore, is it?
That ain't happening. You can choose that.
The latest one, or are we going to go over to Mastodon? Because apparently that's a thing now.
What the fuck is that?
Well, it's a thing. It's a thing that started because Twitter was collapsing, and everybody went, "Fuck Twitter, let's go to Mastodon." Mastodon just sounds like an ancient dinosaur to me, so I don't think it's like a very modern thing. But apparently, it's like another social space. But okay. I'm like, I looked at it and I'm like, I don't understand what's happening here.
Okay, that I don't know what that is. Sorry.
That's because you have the privilege of not spending all day on social media. That's good.
I have 7K almost in favorite. Oh, that's good. Under another channel on name. Oh, that's good. That's very good. About 10 years, right? And Paul, big channel overlord Luke. Yeah, there you go. All right, Disco. Look. Yes, I did my rant in 3 hours. 5 minutes. You took us over. All right. What's left on that Rantometer monitor?
What's left on the Rantometer?
I'll tell you what. I'll give you a 30-second rant on whatever it is, and it's got to be something we haven't done. Come on.
Well, the only ones we haven't done are Rasco drinks, pubs, and Weatherspoons on camera. Which one do you want to pick?
Who do you think I want to pick?
What do you want to pick? I don't know. Pick one, man. There's got one of 4. We can always carry the other one over to the next Rascometer show.
We can, yes. We can do brand new rants about the same subject.
Oh yeah.
Phil Fluke. Oh dear. All right. Well, you know what? I'm going to do a Rasco philosophical moment on Rasco drinks.
Okay.
It's all beautiful. Just embrace the beauty. That's it.
Ah, that was very philosophical. That was quick and to the point. That's what
Mm.
she said.
Hey,
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 yeah,
anyway.
listen, I've enjoyed the drinks tonight, Rasco. It's been a lot of fun.
Indeed,
We've
indeed,
had
I enjoyed it.
we've almost had double figures of people watching tonight. So thank you to everybody who's watched us and joined in tonight. It's been 2 hours of just mayhem and just general really good beers. To be fair, so thank you to everybody who's done the comments. Thank you, everybody, for joining in. If
Um,
I believe Craig is doing an after show party. I don't know if that's been. I've not looked to see if that's up yet. Paul, cheers for chiming in. Thank you. We'll see you
cool.
up the tap room
Give us
soon.
a
A
bit.
couple of weeks, hopefully.
Uh, yep. Everyone, thank you very much.
That's
The
cool.
next
Yeah.
show,
If next show next week or the week after or whatever.
yeah, I'm 90% sure it's next week. If you can do it, let's go.
Okay.
Um, and if I can do
I'm
it,
not sure, but
because
we'll work
Prince
it out during the week. And we can always
we,
use Rasco. Don't forget, we can use our new community tab to let everybody know. Because YouTube have recently changed their things on letting
don't say
people.
that.
Yeah, because it used to be 500 subs. Now it's 100 subs, so we've got 100
Yeah,
subs. So we've got a community
oh,
tab. So if
right.
did anybody see our community tab post today? If not, let us know. And if not, we'll do some more community tab posts. It's like Facebook
Yeah.
for YouTube. That's more beer news I forgot to mention earlier.
Yeah, indeed. So therefore, yes, you can see us talking more nonsense. We're going now. We're done now. The next show will be beer of the year so far and brewery
Yeah, definitely.
of the year so
Yes.
far, and then
Awards, man. Awards.
the awards will be announced at the end of the year or straight at the beginning of next year. So therefore,
Yeah.
um,
Just
look out for that
as
one.
yeah,
That
absolutely.
and wear something nice when we're talking about it. I want
Oh,
you.
I'll get a whistle, mate. I'll get a whistle. Don't worry, bruv. I'll pop a.
uh, You know, on the awards show, I'm going to wear a tuxedo.
Okay. Right. Hopefully, if Craig is doing an after party, let's all go over to Kent Beer Reviews. I can't put a
Yeah,
link. I could put a link in the channel, but on the comments. But you'll know where you're at anyway. Let's get the flock out of here.
yeah.
Yes, get your
And Paul's
whistle out
getting
for
us
that one,
out.
Paul.
Yeah. Thank you very much. We've gone way overboard, more than what we planned.
Mate,
Oh
it's been
well,
2 hours
it's
of
huge.
fun. Thanks
It
to
has.
everybody for joining in and
It
listening,
has.
the
Thank you.
comments and blah blah blah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Enjoy the beers, all. Rasco, hit the
Adios.
end broadcast button.
Bye.